In the last episode, our small band of rebels had just helped Lyrian's government gain a foothold in the war-torn nation, and were starting to find their footing in their new roles. But a cryptic message from an unknown ally had set them on a perilous path, leading them to seek out the reclusive cartographer in the long-abandoned city of Zenith. I stepped out of the dusty sunlight and into the musty shadows of the cartographer's lair, the air thick with the scent of old parchment and decay. My companions, Lyra and Kale, flanked me, their eyes scanning the dimly lit room for any sign of danger. The cartographer, an eccentric old man with a wild shock of white hair, hunched over a sprawling map of Aethereia, his fingers tracing a winding path across the page. "You seek the Aethereian archive, I presume," he muttered, not looking up. "We do," I replied, my voice low and even. "What can you tell us about it?" The cartographer's eyes flicked up, a glint of curiosity sparking in their depths. "I can give you maps," he said, his voice dripping with a sly accent. "Maps that will lead you to the archive, but also to the notice of those who would rather see it remain hidden." He slid a yellowed parchment across the table, the surface etched with cryptic symbols and markings. "This is the path you seek, but be warned. You are not the only one searching for the archive." I felt a shiver run down my spine as I studied the map, the symbols seeming to dance across the page. "We can't let others claim it first," I said, looking up at Lyra and Kale. "We have to move quickly." Lyra nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "Well, get it, Alex, we always do." But as we began to pore over the map, a sudden crash echoed from the outer room, followed by the sound of scuffling footsteps. The cartographer's eyes darted towards the door, a look of alarm flashing across his face. "It seems," he said, "that our presence has attracted unwanted attention." I drew my sword, the familiar weight of comfort in my hand. "Time to get moving," I said, glancing at my companions. "We've got a map to follow and an archive to find." As we made a hasty exit, the sound of rival treasure hunters closing in, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being herded towards some greater purpose, one that would test our courage, loyalty, and ingenuity to the breaking point. The city of Zenith loomed before us, its towering spires and crumbling architecture a testament to a civilization long past. We had to move, and fast, before our rivals caught up with us. I took a deep breath and led my companions into the unknown. The streets were narrow and winding, the buildings seeming to lean in on us as we walked. We passed by market stalls and food vendors, the smells of exotic spices and fresh bread wafting through the air. But I didn't have time to appreciate the sights and sounds. We had a mission to complete. As we walked, the buildings grew taller and the streets grew narrower. We were heading deeper into the heart of the city, and I could feel the weight of the archive drawing closer. Suddenly, Lyra grabbed my arm, her eyes fixed on something ahead. I followed her gaze and my heart sank. A group of heavily armed guards, their uniforms emblazoned with the symbol of the Archon regime, blocked our path. It seemed we had stumbled into something much bigger than ourselves. The guards' eyes narrowed as they took in our rough appearance. "What are you doing here?" one of them growled. I smiled, a plan forming in my mind. "Just passing through," I said, trying to sound confident. The guard raised an eyebrow. "I don't think so. You're coming with us." I exchanged a look with Lyra and Kale. This was our chance to infiltrate the regime's outpost and gather crucial intel on the archive's location. But as we were dragged away, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were walking into a trap. The outpost loomed before us, its walls towering and imposing. I steeled myself for what was to come, my heart pounding in my chest. We were led deep into the outpost, the corridors twisting and turning until I lost all sense of direction. Finally, we were thrown into a dingy cell, the door clanging shut behind us. But I wasn't one to give up easily. I began to work on the lock, my fingers moving with a practiced ease. Kale watched me, a look of admiration on his face. "You're a regular thief, Alex," I grinned. "Just a skill I picked up along the way." The lock clicked open and we slipped out into the corridor. We moved swiftly, trying to gather as much information as possible. And then, Just as we were about to leave, we stumbled upon a cryptic message scrawled on the wall. "The archive is guarded by the keepers of the gate." I exchanged a look with Lyra and Kale. This just got a lot more complicated. But we didn't have time to think about it now. We had to get out and fast. As we made our escape, I couldn't help but wonder what lay ahead. The keepers of the gate, who were they, and what did they want with the archive? One thing was certain. We were in for a lot more than we bargained for. The city of Zenith stretched out before us, its secrets waiting to be uncovered. And I was ready to face whatever came next. Previously, Alex and his companions, Lyra and Kale, had infiltrated an Archon regime facility in the city of Zenith, where they discovered a cryptic message hinting at the existence of powerful guardians known as the Keepers of the Gate, who protect the hidden Aethereian archive. With the stakes escalating, Alex must now confront his doubts and fears and learn to trust his instincts as they navigate the treacherous landscapes and ancient ruins, pursued by rival treasure hunters and the regime's agents. As we emerged from the outpost's walls, the city's sounds and smells enveloped us, a stark contrast to the darkness we'd just left behind. I took a deep breath, the cool air filling my lungs, and gazed up at the towering spires, their intricate architecture a testament to a bygone era. We'd made it out, but at what cost? The archive seemed closer, yet the path ahead was fraught with peril. Lyra's hand on my arm brought me back to the present, her eyes locked on something across the street. A hooded figure, dressed in tattered robes, beckoned us from the shadows. The air around them seemed to ripple, as if the very fabric of reality was bending to their will. I felt an inexplicable pull towards them, a sense of recognition that I couldn't shake. Lyra and Kale flanked me, their eyes fixed on the mysterious figure as we cautiously approached. "You're the one seeking the archive," the figure stated, their words laced with an ancient authority. "I can guide you, but you must first prove your worth." Their voice was like a gentle breeze, yet carried the weight of eons. I felt the hairs on the back of my neck rise as if I was standing at the threshold of something momentous. "What do you propose?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. The figure's hood tilted and a low, throaty laughter echoed through the air. "I will set you 3 trials. Each will test your courage, your loyalty, and your ingenuity. If you succeed, I will reveal the archive's location." Lyra's hand on my arm was a reminder that we weren't alone, that we had each other. I turned to my companions, and their determined gazes reflected my own resolve. Together, we nodded, accepting the challenge ahead. The hooded figure beckoned us, and we followed into the heart of the unknown. The city of Zenith seemed to fade into the background as we embarked on a journey that would push us to the limits of our endurance and beyond. The first trial lay before us, shrouded in mystery. I steeled myself, feeling the weight of our quest settle upon me. We had to succeed, not just for ourselves, but for the future of Aethereia. With a deep breath, I led the way into the unknown. Previously, Alex, Lyra, and Kale had escaped the Archon regime facility in Zenith, discovering a cryptic message about the Keepers of the Gate, powerful guardians of the hidden Aethereian archive. As they fled, a mysterious hooded figure beckoned them, offering to guide them to the archive in exchange for completing 3 trials, testing their courage, loyalty, and ingenuity. We stepped into the unknown, following the hooded figure through the city's labyrinthine alleys. Every twist and turn seemed to lead us deeper into the heart of Zenith, the air thickening with an otherworldly energy. Lyra's hand brushed against mine, a reassuring touch that steadied my nerves. Kale walked point, his eyes scanning the rooftops, ever vigilant. As we turned a corner, the city seemed to dissolve, replaced by a realm of surreal beauty. A lake of iridescent water reflected the sky's kaleidoscope of colors. Lush gardens where trees bore crystalline fruits stretched towards the horizon. In the center, a solitary figure stood, its entrance guarded by a pair of imposing stone statues. "The first trial is the labyrinth of reflections," the hooded figure declared, their voice like a gentle breeze. "You must navigate its twists and turns, confronting the echoes of your past." The labyrinth will reveal your deepest fears and desires. Will you emerge unscathed, or will the labyrinth claim your souls? I felt a shiver down my spine as Lyra and Kale exchanged uneasy glances. This was more than a simple test of our skills. It was a journey into the depths of our own psyche. "I'll go first," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. The hooded figure nodded and the statues parted, allowing me to enter the labyrinth. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of my past settle upon me. I had to confront the demons that haunted me, the fears that had driven me to this point. As I stepped into the labyrinth, the air seemed to thicken, the reflections of my past springing to life around me. I recognized the faces of those I'd lost, the moments of triumph and defeat. Each step forward felt like a journey back in time, the memories I'd suppressed rushing forth like a tidal wave. I walked, my heart pounding in my chest as the labyrinth revealed the darkest corners of my soul. The faces of my enemies, the ones I'd killed, stared back at me, their eyes accusing me of my crimes. I felt the sting of Lyra's rejection, the pain of losing my family, the grief of being an outcast. The labyrinth seemed to stretch on forever, the reflections of my past merging into a kaleidoscope of fear and regret. I stumbled, almost falling as the weight of my doubts crushed me, but I refused to give in. I remembered the lessons of my journey, the bonds I'd formed with Lyra and Kale. I recalled the determination that had driven me to uncover the secrets of the Aethereian archive. With a newfound resolve, I pushed forward, the reflections of my past receding as I walked. The labyrinth began to fade, its walls dissolving into the gardens of iridescent colors. I felt the warmth of the sun on my skin as I emerged, blinking into the bright light of day. Lyra and Kale awaited me, their faces filled with concern. I smiled, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. I had faced our fears and emerged stronger, more determined than ever. "The labyrinth has revealed its secrets," the hooded figure declared, their voice filled with an ancient authority. "You have passed the first trial, but the path ahead is fraught with danger. You must face the guardians of the gate, the powerful entities that protect the archive." I nodded, feeling the stakes escalate. We had reached the threshold of our greatest challenge yet, one that would test our courage, loyalty, and ingenuity like never before previously. Alex, Lyra, and Kale escaped the Archon regime facility in Zenith, discovering a cryptic message about the keepers of the gate, powerful guardians of the hidden Aethereian archive. A mysterious hooded figure beckoned them, offering to guide them to the archive in exchange for completing 3 trials, testing their courage, loyalty, and ingenuity. Alex emerged from the labyrinth of reflections, determined to face the guardians of the gate, powerful entities that protect the archive. As we ventured deeper into the heart of the surreal realm, the gardens of iridescent colors seemed to shimmer and fade, replaced by a dense, misty veil that obscured our path. The air thickened, heavy with an otherworldly energy. Lyra's hand brushed against mine, a reassuring touch that steadied my nerves. Kale walked point, his eyes scanning the mist, ever vigilant. Suddenly, the mist parted, revealing a procession of ancient, ornate carriages, each one drawn by majestic, ethereal creatures that seemed to be crafted from starlight itself. The procession halted before us, and a stately, silver-haired figure dressed in elaborate attire descended from the lead carriage. "Welcome, brave adventurers," she declared, her voice like the gentle rustling of silk. "I am the matriarch of the celestial caravans. You have passed the first trial, and now you must undertake the second, the trial of the celestial caravans." Lyra's eyes widened, excitement sparkling in her gaze. "We must ride the celestial carriages, navigating the treacherous paths of the upper atmosphere." I nodded, the thrill of the unknown coursing through my veins. "And what dangers lie ahead?" I asked, her eyes sparkling with amusement. "Ah, brave adventurer," she said, "the carriages will carry you through realms of shifting gravity, treacherous air currents, and the whispers of ancient secrets. You must adapt, working together to navigate the ever-changing landscape." Kale's eyes narrowed, assessing the challenge. and what reward awaits us if we succeed. The matriarch's smile hinted at secrets yet to be revealed. You will gain the blessing of the caravans and the guidance of the celestial maps, leading you closer to the Aethereian archive. With a nod, I stepped forward, Lyra and Kale flanking me. Together, we mounted the celestial carriages, the misty veil parting to reveal the swirling clouds of the upper atmosphere. As the carriages began to move, I felt the rush of the wind, the thrill of the journey ahead previously. Alex, Lyra, and Kale escaped the Archon regime facility in Zenith, discovering a cryptic message about the keepers of the gate, powerful guardians of the hidden Aethereian archive. A mysterious hooded figure beckoned them, offering to guide them to the archive in exchange for completing 3 trials, testing their courage, loyalty, and ingenuity. Alex emerged from the labyrinth of reflections, determined to face the guardians of the gate, powerful entities that protect the archive. As the celestial carriages hurtled through the upper atmosphere, the thrill of the journey gave way to the harsh realities of our predicament. The carriages twisted and turned, navigating treacherous air currents that threatened to send us plummeting to our deaths. Lyra's, her eyes locked on the path ahead, her fingers dancing across the carriage's intricate controls. Kale stood tall, his hand on the hilt of his sword, ever ready to defend us from the unseen dangers lurking in the swirling clouds. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light illuminated the darkening skies and the carriages lurched violently, throwing us from our seats. I regained my footing, gazing up at the spectacle unfolding above us. A colossal, winged creature, crafted from living starlight, descended from the heavens, its ethereal form undulating with an otherworldly power. The celestial carriages slowed to a halt, suspended in mid-air as if awaiting the creature's verdict. "Greetings, mortals," it declared, its voice a gentle whisper that shook the foundations of our souls. "You have passed the trial of the celestial caravans. Your bond, forged in the crucible of adversity, is strong, but the true test of your resolve lies ahead." The creature's wings beat once and a shimmering portal materialized before us. "Step through the veil and you shall find the 3rd and final trial, the trial of the heart. There, your deepest fears and desires will be laid bare, and only those who emerge unbroken shall claim the blessing of the guardians of the gate." I felt Lyra's hand slip into mine, a reassuring touch that steadied my nerves. Kale's eyes locked onto mine, a promise of unwavering loyalty burning in their depths. Together, we'll face whatever lies ahead, our bond forged in the trials we've overcome. With a deep breath, we stepped through the portal, into the unknown previously. Alex, Lyra, and Kale escaped the Archon regime facility in Zenith, discovering a cryptic message about the keepers of the gate, powerful guardians of the hidden Aethereian archive. They accepted a mysterious hooded figure's offer to guide them to the archive in exchange for completing 3 trials, testing their courage, loyalty, and ingenuity. As we stepped through the shimmering portal, the trial of the heart, the air thickened with anticipation. The landscape shifted, and we found ourselves standing at the edge of a vast, crystal lake, its surface reflecting the turmoil within our minds. The silence was oppressive, punctuated only by the soft lapping of the water against the shore. Suddenly, the lake's surface rippled and a figure emerged from the depths. It was Lyra, but not as I knew her. Her eyes now burned with an inner fire and her skin shimmered with an ethereal glow. "You see me as I truly am, Alex," she said, her voice both familiar and yet utterly alien. "A being crafted from the very essence of Aethereia. But what do you see when you look in the mirror?" I felt a shiver run down my spine as my reflection began to take shape on the lake's surface. It was me, but not as I knew myself. My eyes were hollow, my face twisted in a mask of fear and doubt. "This is the trial of the heart," the reflection spoke, its words cutting deep into my soul. "You must confront the demons that haunt your deepest fears. Only then can you claim the blessing of the guardians of the gate." I felt Lyra's hand slipping into mine once more, a reassuring presence that anchored me to reality. Kale's steady gaze reinforced my resolve. Together, we would face whatever horrors our own minds had created. With a deep breath, I reached out to touch the reflection. The lake's surface shattered, and I was plunged into a realm of darkness, where the shadows of my own doubts and fears awaited previously. Alex, Lyra, and Kale escaped the Archon regime facility, only to be tasked with completing 3 trials to reach the Aethereian archive, guarded by the keepers of the gate. The trial of the heart forced Alex to confront the demons of his own fears and doubts. As I emerged from the darkness, gasping for air, I saw Lyra's concerned gaze and Kale's steady support. The lake's surface now reflected a serene calm, and the air was filled with an otherworldly essence. Our silent understanding was all that was needed to move forward, one step closer to the archive. The hooded figure reappeared, its presence as enigmatic as ever. "The trial of loyalty awaits," it declared, its voice dripping with an unnerving intensity. "In the realm of Aethereia, where illusions are woven into reality, you will be tested. Will you stand firm in the face of deceit and treachery?" With those ominous words, the portal behind us dissipated, and we were left with an unfamiliar landscape. The sky was a deep shade of indigo, and the ground beneath our feet was covered in fine silver mist. We ventured forward, our senses on high alert as the mist began to swirl and take shape. The first illusion materialized before us, a vision of Dr. Orion, her eyes shining with a warm, genuine smile. She beckoned us closer, offering cryptic hints about the archive's secrets. Lyra and Kale exchanged wary glances, their instincts screaming warning. I, however, felt an undeniable sense of trust. This was the Dr. Orion I remembered, the one who had inspired me to explore Aethereia's mysteries. My hesitation was enough to make Lyra seize my arm, her grip a gentle but firm warning. "Alex, don't." The illusionary Dr. Orion vanished, replaced by a sinister figure cloaked in darkness. "Deceit lurk in every corner, in every heart," the figure hissed, its voice like a cold wind. "You must learn to distinguish reality from illusion." With that, the mist dissipated, and we found ourselves standing at the edge of a labyrinthine city. Towering spires reached toward the indigo sky, and intricate mosaics depicting ancient myths and legends. We knew our next step: navigate the city of illusions, uncover the secrets hidden within its winding streets, and confront the trial of loyalty head-on. Previously, Alex, Lyra, and Kale continued their perilous journey to the Aethereian archive, facing the trial of loyalty in the realm of Aethereia, where they were forced to distinguish reality from illusion. They were left standing at the edge of a labyrinthine city, with towering spires reaching toward the sky and intricate mosaics depicting ancient myths and legends. As we gazed upon the city's splendor, a gust of wind carried the whispers of forgotten knowledge. I felt the whispers echoing within me, tempting me to explore the secrets hidden within the city's winding streets. Lyra and Kale exchanged a wary glance, their instincts warning them of the dangers that lay ahead. I knew that we had to be cautious, but I couldn't shake off the feeling that I was being called to uncover the heart of this mystical city. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a woman with skin as pale as the mist that had brought us here, and hair as dark as the indigo sky. She wore a cloak that shimmered like the stars, and her eyes burned with an inner fire. "Welcome, seekers of truth," she said, her voice like music. "I am Ariana, the guardian of Aethereia. You have entered this realm uninvited, but since you are here, you must test your resolve. The trial of loyalty requires you to navigate the city's treacherous paths, where illusions will assault your senses and deceit will lurk in every corner." Ariana handed me a delicate, silver-tipped dart. "This will guide you through the city's winding streets, but it will also test your trust in your companions. Will you falter, or will you stand firm?" I took the dart, feeling its weight settle in my hand. I glanced at Lyra and Kale, and they nodded in unison. Together, we set out into the heart of the city of illusions, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As we ventured deeper into the city, the air grew thick with the whispers of ancient secrets. I felt the dart guiding me, but I also felt Lyra and Kale's presence, a reassuring weight that anchored me in reality. The city's mazes twisted and turned, leading us through a kaleidoscope of illusioned cities within cities, forests that seemed to shift like the sand, and skies that raged with storms that threatened to consume us. But with each step, I felt my connection to Lyra and Kale grow stronger. I began to sense the deceit that lurked in every corner, and I knew that I had to trust my instincts to overcome the treachery that awaited us. Suddenly, the city's layout shifted, and we found ourselves standing in a grand, crystalline-crusted hall. The room was filled with mirrors that reflected our images, and the air was heavy with the scent of roses. In the center of the room, a pedestal stood, and upon it rested a small, leather-bound book. "This is the Chronicle of Aethereia," Ariana's voice whispered in my ear. "The book contains the secrets of the City of Illusions and the key to the next trial. But to claim it, you must first face the reflection of your own heart." I approached the pedestal, feeling the weight of the dart in my hand. I opened the book and the pages began to turn, revealing the deepest fears and desires of my own heart, my fear of failure, my desire to protect Lyra and Kale, and my dream of a brighter future for Aethereia. As I gazed upon the pages, the room began to fade and I was left standing alone, surrounded by the mirrors. I saw my own reflection and it was distorted, twisted by the fears and doubts that had haunted me since the beginning of this journey. But then, I saw Lyra and Kale standing on either side of me, their reflections strong and unwavering. I knew that I had to trust myself and trust them to overcome the doubts that had haunted me. With newfound conviction, I slammed the book shut, and the mirrors shattered, releasing a burst of energy that shook the foundations of the city. The pedestal began to glow, and the Chronicle of Aethereia hovered above it, pulsing with an inner light. Ariana reappeared, her eyes burning with approval. "You have passed the trial of loyalty," she declared, her voice like a benediction. "The secrets of Aethereia are yours to claim. But be warned, the next trial will test your courage and ingenuity in ways you cannot yet imagine." As we left the City of Illusions, the indigo sky darkened, and the stars began to shine with an otherworldly intensity. We knew that we had to press on, for the secrets of the Aethereian archive awaited us, and the fate of Aethereia hung in the balance. Previously, Alex, Lyra, and Kale navigated the trial of loyalty in the realm of Aethereia, overcoming illusions and deceit to claim the Chronicle of Aethereia and pass the test. As they emerged from the City of Illusions, they were warned that the next challenge would test their courage and ingenuity. As we stepped out of the mystical city, the stars above grew brighter, casting an ethereal glow over the landscape. The air vibrated with an otherworldly energy, and I could feel the Chronicle of Aethereia humming in my mind, guiding me toward the next step of our journey. Suddenly, Lyra grasped my arm, her eyes fixed on something in the distance. I followed her gaze and saw it, a massive, ancient structure rising from the heart of a long-abandoned city. The edifice towered above the ruins, its entrance guarded by imposing statues of Aethereian entities. "Is that the Aethereian archive?" Kale asked, awe in his voice. I felt the Chronicle of Aethereia pulsing within me, urging me forward. "We're close," I said, my heart racing with excitement. As we approached the entrance, the statues came to life, their eyes fixed on us. A low, rumbling voice spoke, echoing in our minds. "You have reached the threshold of the Aethereian archive," it said. "To enter, you must first confront the trial of courage. Are you prepared to face your deepest fears and doubts and emerge victorious?" I steeled myself, remembering the lessons I learned in the City of Illusions. I knew that I had to trust Lyra and Kale, and that together we could overcome any challenge. "We're ready," I declared, my voice firm. With a nod, the statues stepped aside and the entrance to the ancient structure slid open, revealing a labyrinthine path that led deep into the heart of the Aethereian archive. Previously, Alex and his companions claimed the Chronicle of Aethereia, overcoming the trial of loyalty, and were led to the threshold of the ancient Aethereian archive, where they prepared to face the trial of courage. As we ventured deeper into the labyrinthine path, the walls began to shift and ripple, like the surface of a restless sea. The silence was oppressive, heavy with the weight of forgotten centuries. I felt the chronicle of Aethereia guiding me, but I couldn't shake the sense that we were being herded towards some unseen reckoning. Suddenly, the air was filled with whispers, each one a different voice, yet eerily harmonious. "What lies within?" they whispered. "What secrets will you uncover?" The whispers swirled around us, a maddening vortex of curiosity and dread. I glanced at Lyra and saw my own unease reflected in her eyes. Kale's grip on his sword tightened, as if he expected an ambush at any moment. I knew we had to press on, no matter what lay ahead. The path twisted and turned, leading us through narrow tunnels and expansive chambers, each one filled with relics and artifacts that whispered secrets of Aethereia's forgotten past. We stumbled upon ancient texts, cryptic maps, and strange devices that seemed to defy understanding. As we navigated this maze of wonders, we encountered other treasure hunters, driven by their own motivations and ambitions. They eyed us with suspicion and hostility, as if we were competitors in some deadly game. One of these rival groups, led by a ruthless mercenary named Vex, seemed particularly determined to claim the secrets of the archive for themselves. They attacked us without warning, forcing us to defend ourselves in a fierce battle that left us battered and bruised. In the aftermath of the battle, we stumbled upon an enigmatic figure, cloaked in shadows, who revealed himself to be the reclusive cartographer. He offered us cryptic maps, hinting that they led to hidden strongholds, ancient artifacts, and cryptic relics that held the power to reshape Aethereia's destiny. But the cartographer's maps came at a price. They attracted the attention of Vex and her crew, who redoubled their pursuit, determined to claim the archive's treasures for themselves. As we navigated this treacherous landscape, we encountered Dr. Aethereian, whose radical theories on Aethereia's forgotten past seemed to hold the key to unlocking the secrets of Lyra's biotechnology. But his enigmatic warnings and cryptic messages left us wondering what lay beneath his motivations. As the path to the archive grew fraught with danger, I began to confront my own doubts and fears, and learned to trust my instincts, guiding my companions through the trials ahead. But the most daunting challenge lay ahead. We had to gather crucial intel on the archive's location, which meant infiltrating a heavily guarded Archon regime outpost. The risk was immense, but we had no choice. We had to be brave, resourceful, and cunning if we were to uncover the secrets of the Aethereian archive. I steeled myself for the challenge ahead, knowing that our journey was far from over. We had to face the unknown and emerge victorious, no matter what lay ahead previously. Alex and his companions claimed the Chronicle of Aethereia, overcoming the trial of loyalty, and were led to the threshold of the ancient Aethereian archive, where they prepared to face the trial of courage. The whispers in the labyrinthine path hinted at a hidden reckoning, and rival treasure hunters, driven by their own motivations, vied for control of the archive's secrets. As we infiltrated the heavily guarded Archon regime outpost, the tension was palpable. Lyra's biotechnology allowed her to blend into the shadows, while Kale and I donned stolen uniforms, trying to blend in with the regime's soldiers. Dr. Orion's cryptic warnings echoed in my mind. "Beware the eyes that watch from the walls." We navigated the outpost's maze-like corridors, avoiding detection by the patrolling guards. Lyra hacked into the security system, disabling cameras and alarms, and Kale took point, scouting ahead for any signs of danger. I trailed them, my heart racing with every step. We had to gather intel on the archive's location without being discovered. Suddenly, Lyra's hand shot up, signaling a halt. A group of guards marched toward us, flanking a high-ranking officer. His eyes scanned the corridor as if searching for something or someone. Lyra's grip on my arm tightened, and I knew she was ready to defend us if necessary. But then, an unexpected distraction. A loud explosion rocked the outpost, sending debris crashing to the floor. The guards rushed to respond to the disturbance, and in the chaos, we managed to slip past them, deeper into the heart of the outpost. In the midst of the chaos, we stumbled upon a hidden chamber filled with cryptic documents and encoded messages. I recognized some of the symbols. They were from the ancient texts Wed found in the labyrinthine path. This was our chance to uncover the archive's location. As we deciphered the codes, a shocking revelation emerged. The archive was hidden within the heart of an ancient, long-abandoned city, guarded by powerful Aethereian entities. The entities would challenge our resolve and force us to confront the true nature of our quest. The cost of failure was now starkly clear. We had to be prepared to face the unknown, trusting in our bond, our instincts, and our determination to uncover the secrets of the Aethereian archive. With the outpost security closing in around us, we knew it was time to escape and face the ultimate challenge that lay ahead. As we fled the outpost, we were pursued by Vex and her crew, who would stop at nothing to claim the archive's secrets for themselves. Our journey was far from over. We had to face the unknown, overcome the trials, and emerge victorious, no matter what lay ahead. The fate of Aethereia hung in the balance, and our determination would be the key to unlocking its future. Previously, Alex and his companions had claimed the Chronicle of Illyria, overcoming the trial of loyalty, and were led to the threshold of the ancient Aethereian archive, where they prepared to face the trial of courage. The rival treasure hunters, driven by their own motivations, vied for control of the archive's secrets. As we escaped the outpost, the city's desolate landscape unfolded before us. The wind whispered secrets and the stars seemed to align, guiding us toward the ancient city. Vex's crew was hot on our heels, but we refused to be intimidated. We had to stay focused, trust our instincts, and rely on each other to overcome the trials ahead. The city's ruins loomed before us, its crumbling spires reaching toward the sky like skeletal fingers. We navigated the treacherous terrain, avoiding deadly traps and ancient guardians. Kale took point, scouting ahead while I covered the rear, ever vigilant for signs of Vex's crew. Lyra's gaze was fixed on the horizon, her eyes scanning the landscape for any hint of the archive's location. As we ventured deeper, the silence grew oppressive. The city's ancient magic began to stir, awakening the powerful Aethereian entities that guarded the archive. The air vibrated with an otherworldly energy, and I could feel the weight of the trials ahead. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath our feet. A colossal statue, buried beneath the city's ruins, began to rise. Its eyes blazed with an ethereal light, and its voice boomed across the landscape. "You have entered the trial of courage. Prove your worth, mortals." The statue presented us with 3 trials: to face our deepest fears, to surrender our greatest desires, and to confront the true nature of our quest. We knew that failure would mean certain defeat, but we were ready to face whatever lay ahead. I took the first trial, facing my deepest fears. The statue conjured illusions, tormenting me with visions of failure and loss. But I refused to yield, drawing strength from my companions and my determination to unlock the archive's secrets. Next, Lyra faced the trial of desire, surrendering her greatest wish, to unlock the secrets of her biotechnology. The statue presented her with a vision of a world where she had achieved her goal, but at the expense of her humanity. She emerged stronger, her resolve unwavering. Kale took the final trial, confronting the true nature of our quest. The statue presented him with a vision of a world where we had claimed the archive's power for ourselves, ruling Aethereia with an iron grip. He emerged, his eyes blazing with conviction, reaffirming our shared goal, to use the archive's secrets for the greater good. With the trials complete, the statue nodded in approval. The ground trembled once more, and the ancient city's ruins parted, revealing the entrance to the Aethereian archive. We stood victorious, our bond, loyalty, and courage paving the way for a brighter future. As we entered the archive, the secrets of Aethereia unfolded before us. Ancient knowledge, hidden for centuries, was revealed, illuminating the path to redemption and a golden dawn. The whispers in the labyrinthine path, the cryptic warnings from Dr. Orion, and the trials we overcame all led to this moment. We spent hours absorbing the knowledge, unlocking the secrets of Lyra's biotechnology, and deciphering the mysteries of the ancient artifacts. As we emerged from the archive, the weight of our journey was replaced with a sense of hope and renewal. As we stood before the ancient city, bathed in the golden light of dawn, I knew that our journey was far from over. We had to return to Lyrian, to illuminate the path to redemption, and to guide Aethereia toward a brighter future. The lessons we learned, the courage we summoned, and the secrets we unlocked would forever etched in our hearts, a beacon guiding us toward the horizon. Epilogue. As we returned to Lyrian's government, we were greeted as heroes, our names etched in the annals of history. Alex, the young protagonist, had become a symbol of hope, a beacon guiding Aethereia toward redemption. Lyra, Kale, and Dr. Orion stood beside him, forever changed, their bond, loyalty, and courage forging a path toward a brighter tomorrow. The secrets of the Aethereian archive, now shared with the world, illuminating the path to a golden dawn. As I gazed out at the horizon, I knew that our journey was far from over. The stars whispered secrets, and the wind carried the promise of new adventures, new trials, and new opportunities to forge a brighter future for Aethereia.